Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we want to take a look at Xerneas in the Ultra League here with a new move, Geomancy. I'm back from the Go Fest, so I'm finally going to be able to showcase all the new Pokemon, all the new stuff that got released there, as I was able to play there, of course, which was really nice and I had a very decent time. I might actually make a video about the Go Fest as well. There were definitely some things that should need to be improved, which I also heard from Osaka, which were really bad, but yeah, this is not really a topic of today's video. Today we're going to take a look at Geomancy Xerneas. This Pokemon is now going to have a fast move that's going to allow it to generate energy very fast. Kinda, I think, the same pace as the rollout, I think, but not 100% sure about this one. Definitely way faster than Tackle before, but it does do not really a lot of damage. It actually does, I think, less damage than rollout. I think it's a pre-buffed rollout. I think rollout got buffed this season. I think it's the same, but with one less damage, which is still definitely an upgrade for this Pokemon. We're going to take a look at it today for the Ultra League. We're going to definitely take a look at this over the next 2 days as well in the Open Master League, because as you can see here right now, I got a 100% variant of this Pokemon. And the coolest thing as well, I don't know if you see it right now or like later in the video as well, we are going to have the special screen at the background for this Pokemon, which like basically shows the recorded in London, where they have like this special background if you haven't seen that already. Very cool, small detail, I just love it. It's not guaranteed, by the way, to catch this. It's actually very rare to get the background for in-person caught legendary Pokemon, so very happy that I got this with the background. I know other people got like 3 legendaries with like 100% and none of them had the background on the back, so very happy about this one. But yeah, we're going to use it here currently in a team with the Regirock in the lead and the Clefable in the back as a stay swap, because it's going to have, of course, now a fast move that generates energy very fast, and also going to have access to the move Thunder as well as the move Close Combat. Kinda similar to the video that I made with Granbull, we're going to be able to try to bait out potential Steel-type Pokemon with this Pokemon here, as we're going to have also an answer for Poison types in the lead, which is going to be our Regirock, which can resist the Poison typing with its general defensive typing here over Rock, and still going to hit back with the Stone Edge, as you're going to see against the opponent's Skuntank here. Tapu Fini is a little bit of a trickier one, but we have Thunder for this Pokemon here, so let's see if we can hit this one. We can take one serve for sure with our Xerneas here, as we can go ahead and go for the Thunder against the opponent. This is going to get shielded actually, which is kind of wild, and I'm going to try to hit another Thunder, but they're going to catch this move on Trevenant, which is kind of sad for us. Yes, we're not running Moonblast on this Pokemon, even though Moonblast is the preferred move on this Pokemon here, just because we're using this as a save swap and trying to bait out potential either Charizard, for example, or Steel-type Pokemon. And for Charizard, you kind of want to have Thunder, as it's going to be a super effective move. So yeah, that's going to be basically our game plan for today. The Clefable in the back is just to basically sweep endgame, trying to clean up some games there. And honestly, I'm still not the best Clefable player in the world, to be fair. Something I definitely have to still improve on is definitely how to play with it. For example, here, I shouldn't have went for the Moonblast. 2 Meteor Meshes would be enough to knock out the opponent. That's like something that you just get with like a little bit more of knowledge, a little bit more of a playtime with this Pokemon. But all those games, by the way, that are played here, were played either before I was just going onto the plane or afterwards, directly afterwards, where I was not really, yeah, maybe not the best plays that were made there as well. I was kind of tired. I'm still kind of tired from all the traveling, but it's still going to be fine. We're going to also take a look, of course, the other Pokemon that got released with the new moves, for example, which is going to be very interesting, like Rayquaza with the new charge move in the Master League, going to be very interesting. And yeah, we are going to take a look at the Regirock going for Stone Edge against the opponent's Tentacruel. We're going to get the shield. Of course, it's going to be a matchup where we kind of want to still keep our Regirock alive, so we can go for more Stone Edges against the opponent's Tentacruel. Tentacruel has to go down for us, as we're going to be able to go for the Stone Edge here and do a ton of damage against them, allowing us to maybe even knock them out. It does not quite knock them out, but they're gonna go for a charge move here, which is going to be very good for us. As the Scald is coming through, we can go ahead and move into our Clefable that can farm them all the way down and get a ton of energy here. And we're gonna get out the Gliscor, which is going to be very beneficial for us, as we're going to see here again that Moonblast does quite a lot of damage. And we are going to be actually very lucky here by getting the attack drop onto the opponent as well, which is a 10% chance, but going to allow us to easily survive an Earthquake here from the opponent. We have a shield advantage, and we're going to still have our good friend Xerneas here, which is going to go up to 2 close combats here. And this should be the energy generation from all rollout, because you get to the second move with like a 45 energy move and like 1 less fast move. It's the same as, for example, a Dunsparce here. So Double close combat is already available after 7 fast move, which is really nice to see, as the Xerneas going to sweep endgame here. Next opponent, we're going to have the Weezing against us here right now. Weezing is going to also be a very decent lead for us, as if they're running Overheat and Brutal Swing, they're not going to do too much damage against us here. And they seem to run Play Rough, which is going to do a little bit more, going to be a little bit trickier for us to deal with. Actually, our Pokemon in the back, the Clefable, is also very decent against this Pokemon there, so like we don't even need it too much. But here we're gonna go ahead and swap out now into our Clefable. It's just a safer matchup compared to Xerneas. Xerneas is very squishy. It is not the ideal league for Xerneas for the Ultra League here, but it's a lot of fun to play, definitely. Yveltal is actually going to be a little bit better in this meta. I already played my team with this one, you're going to see it tomorrow, but Yveltal was actually really nice with the new move Oblivion Wing. So really cool in the Ultra League for that one, but here we're going to now be able to go for a Moonblast against the opponent's Jellicent, going to be able to get the knockout. And in comes now the Weezing. We can go for a Meteor Mash here right now, which is going to not knock them out because they're going to shield this move up. But I can let this move go through. They are forced to go for the Play Rough here and waste a ton of energy with that. But I can move in back into my Regirock, and we're gonna swap in, of course, into our Xerneas. Sadly, we are forced to go for the close combat, and sadly, they are running Obstruct on their Obstagoon, which is going to allow them to get some defense boosts, which actually does matter quite a bit because they can go for another one here right now. I can overfarm by a little bit. I have 2 close combats here right now, but this is not going to knock them out. Barely does not do enough damage, but we can still go for another charge move here to get the knockout against the opponent's Obstagoon as the Weezing comes back in. I'm going to try to knock them out with our Xerneas here, of course, as they're gonna go for the Play Rough. I can go for this Thunder, and the Thunder is going to be able to now knock out the opponent, and Xerneas is able to sweep end game. Next opponent, going to be a Regirock against Poliwrath. Fairly bad lead for us, but we can swap out into a Xerneas, allowing us to bait out the Registeel from the opponent. And like this, I can let one move go through from the opponent here as well, which is going to be the Zap Cannon there, which is going to be very nice for us that they didn't get the debuff into our attack, which will allow us to two-shot the opponent, usually at least. And here is where it's a little bit tricky, because we actually are not going to be able to two-shot them if they're going to get the debuff onto us. And this is something that I didn't really see coming too much here right now, but I'm going to use a shield right now, and I was like, with the extra damage of my fast move, I should be fine knocking them out, but you see already the debuff came through. I will be able to still do a ton of damage with my close combat here right now and going to charge up quite fast, but the opponent even going to be able to get another shield here from me, I thought, but no, I'm going to let this move go through because they know already that they have the Poliwrath in the back, so I'm going to be forced to go into my Clefable here right now as they're going to stay in, and they're going to swap out now into a Steelix, which allows us to go for a Moonblast. But, this comes really down now on what charge moves they're running, and they're gonna go straight for the Psychic Fangs. They're running Psychic Fangs and Crunch. So they're not running Earthquake, which is really nice for us, because Earthquake would be a big issue for this Pokemon right now. Well, right now, yes, we're going to do all only resisted damage against the opponent, but the opponent's fast move is double resisted against us, so they're basically not going to do too much damage, and we're going to be able to even clear the debuff here onto our Regirock with the Psychic Fangs, and we're going to get out the opponent's Poliwrath, where we're going to just stack our Regirock here, which does not get to another move, but I can go ahead and go for a Moonblast against the opponent here right now. This will actually not knock them out. I actually was super surprised about this one, but I'm going to be forced to shield up this move. If it's a Scald, it might be a little tricky. It's going to be the Ice Punch. I can farm them all the way down, and in comes now the Steelix. Is there still a way for us to win this game here? I think Psychic Fangs might be enough already, but let's see. They're gonna go ahead and they have to take this Moonblast onto them. That's going to go ahead and does not knock them out, and so they're going to be able to win this game here. Or not, for whatever reason. They are running Crunch there, and I don't know, I'm at least fairly certain at least, that the Psychic Fangs would have been the way better play here than a resisted Crunch, but don't ask me why, I'm totally okay with it. What I'm not really okay with it is going to be the lead here of the Tapu Fini against us right now. This Pokemon might actually get a new charge move soon as well, which is going to be Nature's Madness, which got found in the code, so that's going to be interesting. But here against the opponent's Trevenant, we at least were able to get a shield advantage with the close combat bait, as we can go for Thunder and get them fairly low. Trevenant is one of the worst possible Pokemon to face for this team. Of course, our Clefable going to be neutral, but the rest of the team definitely does not want to face this Pokemon, as we're going to be able to let the move go through and still survive this with our Regirock. Go for the Stone Edge, and the Stone Edge is going to hopefully knock them out, and it does not. Oh no, it actually does. I thought it was like 1 HP left. But in comes now our Clefable against the opponent's Tapu Fini. We can go for the Media Mesh spam, but also in comes now the opponent's Obstagoon, allowing us to go for one Moonblast, allowing us to get them low, and allowing us to get a full farm down here. This is our best play of getting energy here, as they're gonna go ahead and go for the Gang Shot. This was basically the breaker for me there right now. I had to hope they're not running Gang Shot on this Pokemon. Even a Hyper Beam I think I would have been fine because they need one more fast move. And I think I would have been able to farm down before, but a great play by the opponent there, going for the Gang Shot. I'm totally fine losing to this one. But yeah, you're going to see here, I'm also going, of course, keeping the games in. That did not go that well. Next opponent here, we're going to see Cobalion coming in, which is going to be a fairly decent matchup for us. We were able to bait them first, and now we can go ahead and go for the close combat, which is going to annihilate them. It's going to do so much damage here right now, which is just going to be so nice for us, because like this, we are going to get the opponent into a range where I can farm them down with my Clefable. And I don't care about what they want to do here really, right? Let's see. We're going to now get out the Stone Hedge, which I'm going to let go through. Going to do some fairly decent damage though. So I'm a little bit scared, but they're only going to go ahead and go for a Sacred Salt here right now, which is not going to do too much against us right now. So we're going to be able to farm them all the way down. But sadly, they're running Charizard in the back. Luckily though, we're going to be able to get the final shield by the opponent here right now. And like this, we're going to be able to also shield up the opponent's Dragon Claw here. Should have been a Blast Spin hopefully, but like it wasn't. But we're gonna get out the opponent's Dragonite, where we have now an energy advantage. As we're going to use our final shield, we will be able to get the knockout against the opponent here. And I feel like Regirock most likely going to be able to just completely destroy the opponent's Charizard here as well. And it definitely will, because Stone Edge is definitely something that they don't want to take. So this is going to be a good game there. Regirock was able to sweep there. It is just like double flying there, of course, against Regirock. It's just a very nice matchup. What also was a very nice matchup was the Galarian Weezing there, but we're going to have to go ahead and go for one Stone Edge here to try to get them a little bit lower. And this is hopefully allowing us to get them into range for our Clefable, as we were able to catch a Surf here, which is of course the better move to catch compared to the Shadow Ball from the opponent. So let's see what they're going to go here. They're going to go for the Shadow Ball and doing some decent damage, but we should hopefully put them into the Moonblast range with our move prior. And we will see. It is not there yet, because you're going to see that they're going to use a shield before that. So we don't even know if it's going to be enough to go for one Moonblast yet, not knock out the opponent. But most likely we're going to find out very shortly here, as we're going to go for another one, and this time around it was enough to get the knockout. Not only this, we're also going to be able to go for the Media Mesh against the opponent's Galarian Weezing, which will get the shield from the opponent, and we can now go back into our Regirock here, which is still going to be a little bit tough because they're going to have a ton of energy, and we have to stay in here, but they're going to swap out into the Tapu Fini. I was staying in for a little bit too long most likely, but I can go ahead and go for a Thunder against the opponent here, which should do a decent amount of damage here at least, as I can even try to go for another Thunder afterwards. But yeah, this is going to do some very decent damage, super effective damage coming through here, but they're gonna go straight for the Surf. So what I'm gonna do here right now is I'm gonna go straight for the Stone Edge, should be the best play for me right now. It's going to knock out the opponent, but it's still gonna come down to the wire. So you're gonna get out the Weezing from the opponent here right now, which is going to be very difficult to deal with, because you see here already, they just do a lot of damage against me, and they will continue of doing this. And I have to basically hit 2 Stone Edges here to have a chance of winning this game. Let's see, first Stone Edge coming through, going to do some decent damage. Can we get to the next one? I can get to the next one, but is it actually enough to knock them out here? It is enough, and we win this game here against the opponent, as we can move on into the final game for today. Going to be the Dragonite in the lead. A very decent lead for us, because our entire team wins against this Pokemon. They're going to swap out into the Registeel, thinking that I'm going to be very weak against this Pokemon in the back, but I am totally not, as I will be able to go for one Focus Blast and then swap out perfectly onto their Focus Blast into our Xerneas. This Pokemon will be easily able to take the hit, and I can go straight for the close combat here, which is going to do some very decent damage against them and going to knock them out. Let's see what comes back in here. It's going to be the Dragonite. They're still forced to go for a charge move here, and they're going to go for that exactly here. It's most likely going to be the Superpower, which the Dragon Claw wouldn't have been able to knock us out from this range. We're going to get out the Cobalion, and the opponent has literally zero answer for any kind of fairy type Pokemon, so that's totally fine for us, as we're going to definitely profit by that one, as we can now clean up this game with our Clefable. Stone Edge comes through. I can just go ahead and go for the baits against the opponent. It's so likely that they're going to shield here that I don't really feel too risky about this one, and they're going to go ahead and shield this move up, of course, as they're going to be able to go for the Stone Edge, getting the shield from me, but One more charge move here is all it takes to knock them out here. Moonblast, they're actually going to still use their shield here, which is definitely a smart play. But let's see what's coming back in here. We're going to see the Stone Edge coming through, and we're going to see they're going to let this move go through as well. And they're going to get knocked out by our Clefable. As we, of course, have the Dragonite in the back, we can go for the Stone Edge here, and that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and also check out the video that you see on the screen right now, and I see you then. Bye-bye.